let's move on a little bit to the Dolphins have overhauled their front office, of course. We've added Mike Tannenbaum, Dan Marino. What have we seen out of this? Are those the kind of changes that can get this team to the playoffs?
You know what? I like the chemistry that they have. I mean, you've added analytics department. You've added a new nutritionist that you stole from another team. You've added a sports science guy that you stole from soccer or wherever, the Europe leagues.
Right.
And they're far ahead from sports science than we are here in the NFL. You have done so many things that will back you up when Steve Ross says, I want to be a first-class organization. I've always felt like Steve Ross lacked a football mind that knew what he was doing and knew how to manage people and knew how to sell the organization. Jeff Ireland, he wasn't a bad GM. He was a good talent evaluator, which is why people nicknamed him mockingly Super Scout. But he wasn't a great GM because he could not sell. He could not sell the organization. Mike Tannenbaum sold the Dolphins to Ndamukong Suh and his agent. And that's what he brings to the table. He's able to marry and help everybody work better, from a coaching staff to the personnel staff to the scouting staff. And I like that addition. And then Dan Marino's there. And while he has no football involvement, he's there at practice every day. And I see him talking to players. I see him giving players advice. I see him giving players guidance. Ryan Tannehill talked about some changes that he did to his footwork to help him improve his footwork. Where do you think those changes came from?
I wonder.
It came from a Sir Dan Marino who told him what he used to do. So all those things, I like Steve Ross's spare no expenses. Spare no, if it makes us better, if it improves our team, hey, we need a canopy over the stadium. Here, where's my wallet? What do you need? That is Steve Ross, and I like. Yeah,
small,
don't look at
small wallet.
Hey,
that's not Steve Ross's wallet.
Money in it. Listen, so he does whatever he needs in order to make this Dolphins organization a winner. Unfortunately, they haven't delivered for him.
And certainly he spared no expense. You look at that stadium, and we're only halfway through, and it already really is legitimately
after it gets the canopy on
place.
top, it will be a state-of-the-art
big
stadium.
Screens.
Yeah, well, yeah, the big screens too. I mean, I guess that helps. But the venue's so much smaller now and a little bit more intimate. Hopefully, it'll look a little bit better when it's filled up in the season, season home opener.
All right, let's take some more questions. Voice of Reason at TB Dolphins says, how many wins do you think it takes to get the Dolphins into the playoffs, and what do you think it takes to get to that win total?
I think it takes 10 wins to get the Dolphins into the playoffs. I think you have to go 4-2 in your division. How you get 4 wins, I don't know, because you're clearly at best going to split with the Patriots. And then that means you're going to have to sweep one team, and then you sweep the Jets or the Bills, and then win another game. 4-2 to me is the key in order for the Dolphins to get to 10 wins. And then these early games where you're playing mediocre quarterbacks, don't say it too loud.
Someone brought that up last week.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Somebody brought that up last week. Kirk Cousins starting, and I like Kirk Cousins. I would have preferred RG3 because he would have been a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Kirk Cousins might be the best quarterback they play in the first 6 weeks.
Come on, you disrespecting Blake Bortles?
Yes.
He's going to take his game to the next level, according to people that I've talked to. Yeah, hey, we'll see.
Okay.
Okay. What is the next level? It's like decent. Yes, they don't play any good quarterbacks, but they play a lot of road games. And to me, if you're on the road, you've got a great chance to lose. That's, not if you're Dolphins and you're at home, you also have a great chance to lose. But if you're on the road, you have a great chance to lose. They need to learn to be road warriors so they can play well in the first half of the season and play strong in the second half of the season when they bring it back home.
Just to get back to Voice of Reason's question, I really don't like this question because I don't think there's any way that you can tell what the rest of the teams are going to do. So being able to say 10 wins is going to get you in the playoffs, you cannot guarantee that 10 wins is going to get in the playoffs. The Panthers got in the playoffs with 7 last year.
Yes, in a different conference.
Yeah,
in a different conference.
And this is not a very good conference either.
I think that Pittsburgh has
an awful
Ravens.
defense. Pittsburgh's defense is terrible.
The Ravens, Cincinnati's
Ravens
made
don't have
it 4 straight years
anymore. Steve Smith is on like one leg, and they've got this Brashard Perriman guy who hasn't been on the practice field yet.
They're still the Ravens.
Okay.
They're still the Ravens. Then you got Cincinnati that's won the division the last 4 years. Like, calm down.
They've won. I think they've won it once.
They've been to the playoffs the last 4 years.
How many playoff wins did they have?
I mean, how many playoff wins does the Dolphins have?
Okay, I'm just...
How many playoff appearances do the Dolphins have?
You can't guarantee 10 wins is going to make the playoffs, and you can't guarantee that 9 wins is not going to make the playoffs.
Chargers, Denver, even though all of them are coming a little bit back to the pack. I mean, come on. That's a tough... I think the AFC is tough. I know they're not the NFC, but the AFC is tough.
Okay, well... We talked a little bit about the coaching staff. You've been critical in the past.
Really?
I vaguely remember hearing that. How about just overall the way the coaching staff has dealt with this preseason and the position that it has put this team in going into the season?
I think they know there's a sense of urgency. I think they know that they need young players to develop and produce and turn the corner. You're seeing some of those young players turn the corner in a Walt Aikens and a Michael Thomas and hopefully Jamar Taylor if he gets healthy. See young players like Rashard Matthews. I think the one thing I will give Joe Philbin a ton of credit for is the fact that players consistently develop with Joe Philbin. Players get better. And sometimes it's a slow burn, but they consistently get better. Dallas Thomas, man, there's probably nobody who has improved more in one offseason than Dallas Thomas. He's earned my respect to the point where I don't view him as the weakest link on the offensive line. I thought he would be, but he's not. He's gotten the job done, and he's making less mistakes and having less bad games. That's the one thing you can count on with Joe Philbin. You're going to get good game plans, and you're going to get player development. The problem is, can he win close games? Can he lead grown men? And until you do those two things, you're just a mediocre coach with a mediocre team.
We just have a few moments left, but I wanted to get through this. Let's do this as quick as we can.
All right.
There's some tough choices coming down to the wire. Guys that you're watching, let's break these guys down side by side.
Okay.
All right. A.J. Francis and C.J. Mosley.
I go with the younger and cheaper player that happens to be A.J. Francis.
All right. Mike Gillislee or Jay Ajayi?
You got to go with the 5th-round pick from this year's draft, Jay Ajayi. He brings the power. Mike Gillislee hasn't shown you anything in 3 years.
And Ajayi hasn't shown you anything.
It's one camp, though, and he's hurt.
All right. Caleb Sturgis or Andrew Franks?
I'm going to go with Caleb Sturgis right now, but I'm also going to put Andrew Franks on the practice squad. I could easily be wrong. Caleb Sturgis is good up until he gets hurt. When he gets hurt, then chuck him and promote Andrew Franks, who is realistically claiming a kicker. Who is claiming a kicker?
Especially Caleb Sturgis
Andrew
Franks, especially Andrew Franks. Sam Brenner or Jacques McClendon?
I've got to go with Sam Brenner. I love the hustle that he's done, that he's shown. He plays all 3 interior positions, special teams. Go with the younger, cheaper player. That's the way of the NFL.
Zach Bowman or Will Davis?
Man, that's a tough one because I like what Zach Bowman has shown lately. I like his toughness. I like what he brings to special teams. However, Will Davis has flashed some talent that looks like difference-making talent. And I know he's not very good on special teams, but I'm going to have to go with the young, talented guy who's 8 months back from an ACL injury.
Is the loser of that off the team? I think.
That's a tough call.
The Bowman.
Right now, I'm going to have to project that the Dolphins keep 6 cornerbacks. Just because of some of the injuries that they're battling right now.
Last one, Don Jones, Jordan Kovacs.
Oh, man, I love Don Jones. I think Don Jones is coming back from a shoulder injury. He played his first game last week. Don has to stay because Don is a head buster in special teams.
Right. He's got a place to play.
Listen, and special teams, don't overlook special teams because it costs you the Bills game and it can cost you a lot more.
Okay, next. We've got a challenge finally. Yes.
So I was trying not to get a Ryan Tannehill challenge. Unfortunately,
of course
came in today.
Right.
But this one actually came from Joseph Tanner. He says, "Give me 1 second. Sorry." Oh wait, no.
It's okay. Take your time.
It's okay. Here's another one. The challenge comes from Joseph Tanner again. It says the AFC East team will claim Matt Hazel if cut. Don't kid yourself.
Okay,
wow.
and
just to have the inside info of what's going on with the Dolphins, I don't know.
Listen, they don't have. Matt Hazel joining the Patriots doesn't scare me. No offense to Matt Hazel, but Patriots download players all the time. How much of a difference does it really make for them? We all know that the Patriots bend the rules, do the extra things. So yeah, they put players in a room and download them under hot lights for information. It is what it is. Dolphins have done it too.
Maybe if they don't do it to Matt Hazel, they're just going to do it to someone else. So you
Absolutely,
can't worry about that.
no question about it. A.J. Francis played for the Patriots. Maybe he returns there. You Patriots are going to claim your players. That's what they do.
Right. Next week, we'll have a real game to prepare for. We'll break down the opener against the Redskins, so join us here next Wednesday at 12:15 for X's and Omar on sunsentinel.com. Have a great week.